Welcome back to the Demon Slayer Gamer channel. We're going to be continuing our Final Fantasy XIV Dungeon Guide series today. We're going to be taking a look at the Endwalker dungeon, The Dead Ends. After the video, if it helps you out, please make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel.
Follow me down into the darkest depths of despair.
Throughout the dungeon, you'll be following around Meteion as she'll be opening up the gates for you as you proceed through.
Once upon a time, there was a beautiful blue star that filled a pestilence and plotted inside the earth. When the night's people climbed to life,
For the beginning trash pools, each of the warped flesh units has a circular AoE it can perform around itself.
until they cast not the illness, but their fellow corrupted.
Moving on to the third and fourth group. The tall warped flesh also has a short cone AoE that it can do towards the tank. For the first boss, shortly after the fight begins, he'll summon a wind that you'll want to pay attention as to which direction it is blowing, because when he casts Miasmata, that will do party-wide damage. He will also summon circular AoEs that will move across the platform in the direction the wind is blowing. So you'll want to position yourself in the opening so that whenever the AoEs move, you do not get hit by them. Afterwards, he'll cast Cough Up, which will do circular AoEs under every party member that you'll want to just run around avoiding these. And then you will need to group up to avoid the Desolation that follows this up. If you are not near other party members when Desolation goes off, then you will be forced to slowly move away from the boss, causing you to be hit by the next donut AoE around him. If you are hit by this or any of the other circular AoEs in this fight, then you will receive a debuff that, if it is not cleansed off of you, will kill you after a certain period of time. The next Miasma will also be followed up with the donut AoE around him, so you'll need to group up in the middle to avoid this, and then move into the open areas as the AoEs move across the platform. Pox Flail will be the tank buster ability. You'll want to just pop a tank cooldown to help your healer out a bit. Blighted Water will be his group up AoE that you'll want to group up and split the damage for. Befoulment will put a circular AoE on every party member. You'll just want to spread out to not overlap these AoEs. He'll then do Cough Up, followed by the Desolation AoE, and then Wave of Nausea, which is the Donut AoE. So you'll want to spread out and then quickly group up and then get under him. And then click the spatial distortion to be teleported to the second area.
In a faraway place, a brilliant star eradicated disease. Before destroying the self-same lives.
For the second area, the airborne freedom fighters have very long line AoEs that they can throw out, and the landborne ones have circular AoEs that they will perform. So you just want to move in and out of these to avoid taking unnecessary damage.
Its people said earthquake defeaters no matter what.
For the second boss, Decimation will be the party-wide damage ability that will just need to be healed through. The first time it is cast will cut off a large portion of the outside of the arena, limiting the area that you have available to work with. He will then follow this up with the Electromagnetic Repellent, which will do a continuously damaging AoE underneath himself. He will then deploy little drones that after a period of time will channel line AoEs that extend out from themselves once he casts Order to Fire. At the same time, there will be circular AoEs around every party member, so you'll want to make sure that you are spread out enough to not overlap the circular AoEs but still be between the drones. When he casts No Future, this will summon circular AoEs across the entire platform that will extend out. This will happen in 2 different sets, so you'll need to be continuously moving into the open areas, along with avoiding grouping up to make sure to not overlap the circular AoEs. Peace Fire will do 2 large circular AoEs on the outside of the platform that would continuously move around the platform. At the same time, he will do the continuously damaging AoE underneath himself, along with deploying the drones and ordering them to fire. So you'll want to make sure that you're moving into an open area between the drones far enough away that the circular AoEs will not move onto you during this time. Eclipsing Exhaust will do several circular AoEs around the platform, along with a knockback AoE under the boss, so you'll want to get as close to him as possible and position yourself in front of the open area so you're not knocked into the AoEs. Extermination is his Tank Buster ability that is actually a very large line AoE, so you'll want to make sure that none of the rest of the party is around the tank at this time. He'll follow this up with several decimations and an elimination tank buster. So you'll want to make sure you're just doing a bit of AoE healing at this time. Followed by another Peace Fire, Electromagnetic Field, and Order to Fire. You'll then click the Spatial Distortion to be teleported to the third and final area.
Father still looks at the star without stress. When unremembered comes true,
In the third area, the ads will not all be active immediately, so you'll need to wait till they activate to pick them up.
what is keeping those things to use?
The Xenoflora, which is the large tree, have a cone AoE that they can throw at a random party member. The Xenofauna is the bird enemy that has a circular AoE you can throw at a random party member.
So they created the kindest, most gentle of beasts.
For the final boss, Warm Glow will be his AoE damage ability that will just need to be healed through. Pity will be the Tank Buster ability that you'll just want to pop a tank cooldown to reduce some of the damage. When you cast Prance, you'll move in one of two different patterns. Depending on the pattern, you will either want to move to the third circular AoE or the fourth one, and then move on to the first one after it explodes. When he jumps to the outside of the platform and casts Life's Breath, he will shoot a line AoE across the platform and then summon multiple butterflies. Each of these will be facing a direction based on the arrows that are underneath their enemy signs. You'll want to move behind them so that you are not hit by the line AoE. If you are hit by this AoE, it will provide a doom effect that the healer will need to heal the player up to max health to avoid them instantly dying. The boss will follow this up with Benevolence, which you'll need to group up to split the damage, and then Loving Embrace, which would do an AoE on the side of the platform where the boss has a glowing wing, so you'll want to move to the opposite side. Follow this up with Warm Glow for party-wide damage. And another Prance ability. This one should alternate the patterns with the previous one. So depending on which one you received previously, you'll want to then move to the third or fourth AoE of this one to then move into the first one afterwards to avoid the damage. Still Embrace will be circular AoEs on every party member that you'll just want to spread out to not overlap the AoEs. followed by another Life's Breath. This Life's Breath will be combined with Loving Embrace, so you'll want to move to the side of the butterflies that the AoE will not be on, while still making sure that you're behind the ones that are firing in the opposite direction, so you're not affected by the Doom effect. Follow this up with another Benevolence and Warm Glow. He'll do another Warm Glow and Pity before doing a third Prance ability. This one should replicate the one that was cast in the very beginning, so depending on which rotation of AoEs you receive, then you'll want to move accordingly. Followed by a Still Embrace, so you'll want to spread out to not overlap the AoEs. And another Life's Breath, combined with Loving Embrace. There will be a short amount of time that you can move after the butterfly fires to avoid the Loving Embrace. If you do not feel comfortable moving to the opposite side in time, but this should be it for the Dead Ends. I hope this helped everyone out. If it did, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out. And I will catch you on the next one.